Have you ever wondered why it is that good people, people with the absolute best intentions, so often feel stuck? Well, today we're going to dive into that very question, and I gotta tell you, the answer might challenge everything you think you know about being good. So let's start here. I want you to really think about this for a second. Do you consider yourself a good person? Is that a core part of your identity? And maybe that means you've tried your absolute best not to hurt anybody. You move through the world making a real conscious effort not to cause harm. And that's the big one, right? Deep down, you know your heart was in the right place. You always meant well. So you've got all that going for you, but something's just not clicking. Life feels like you're running in place. You're not moving forward. And for the life of you, you can't figure out why. So here's a really tough idea to chew on. What if the problem isn't that you're too good? What if your very definition of good is the thing that's actually holding you prisoner? Let's pull back the curtain on this phrase we tell ourselves, I'm a good person. Because a lot of the time, there's something else hiding just underneath that statement. Wow, okay, that reframes the whole thing, doesn't it? It suggests that this kind of goodness isn't a strength at all. It's actually a defense mechanism. It's a way to avoid conflict or disapproval by making yourself smaller. And there's a name for this, self-erasure. It's what happens when you consistently push your own needs, your own desires, and even your own truth to the side just to keep the peace or make sure other people see you as good. And this right here is the core of the problem. Because life, the universe, reality, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't reward us for disappearing. It responds to our presence, not our absence. So how does this actually play out in real life? Let's break it down. We're going to look at 3 specific ways this fear-based version of good keeps you completely stuck. First, we're going to talk about goodness without boundaries, which just leaves you feeling empty. Then we'll look at the big gap between having good intentions and taking real responsibility. And finally, we'll unpack a really sneaky trap called spiritual victimhood. All right, number 1, goodness without boundaries. This is the classic people pleaser. You say yes to everything, you give and you give and you give, and then at the end of the day, you're left feeling totally resentful, asking, why me? Why does this always happen to me? And it leads to this, it's almost a universal law. If you don't stand for yourself, if you don't define your own space and your own limits, you can't expect the world to do it for you. Your reality will simply mirror your lack of boundaries. Okay, moving on to number 2, the gap between intention and action. See, having good intentions, it feels nice. It's like a moral painkiller, right? It makes us feel good about ourselves. But intentions alone change absolutely nothing. The universe doesn't respond to what you think. It responds to what you do. It responds to conscious action. And number 3 is spiritual victimhood. Now, this is a subtle but incredibly powerful trap. It's when you start to make your suffering noble. You believe that because you've been so good and so patient, some higher power or outside force is just going to swoop in and rescue you. But think about this for a second. This idea suggests that the universe or God works with you, not for you. If you have accepted a situation, if you've just decided this is how it is, you've basically given it permission to exist in your life. Real change can only start the moment you withdraw that acceptance. Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? It's not to stop being good, not at all. It's about completely redefining what goodness means. We need to stop seeing it as being passive and start seeing it as an act of raw courage. So what does this new kind of good look like? Well, it's the courage to say no and set a boundary. It's the courage to be fully seen exactly as you are. It's the courage to choose your own well-being even when it's uncomfortable. And maybe the biggest one, it's the courage to be brutally honest with yourself about your reality. Every single one of those is an act of presence. And really, it all boils down to this. Authentic goodness isn't about pleasing the world at your own expense. It starts with being radically honest with yourself first. Because it's only from that place of real integrity that you can be genuinely and sustainably kind to others. So that all sounds great, but where do you even begin? Let's make this super practical. Here's a powerful exercise to help you kickstart this shift from a passive good to a courageous good. I want you to really sit with this question. Don't just rush to a quick answer in your head. Feel it. Where in the name of being a good person have you given up your right to something? Abandoned a deep desire? Silenced your own truth? Where have you made yourself smaller?
Because that first honest answer that comes up for you, that's not just a passing thought. That's a compass. It is pointing you directly toward the truth you need to reclaim. And that direction, that is the only way to finally get your life unstuck.